I'm back. Today I'm going to be talking about every step of the way, how I got my curls back. I'll put it in chapters so that if you're only interested in like one part of this journey, you can go straight to that point. I've been posting a lot on my Instagram, so if you're here looking for like quick, easy curl tutorials, like step by step, everything's on my Instagram and a little bit on TikTok. We're going to be talking about the whole timeline with pictures, so let's get into it. I was born in 1992, so I'm 30 now, and my dad has very, very curly hair, and my mum has wavy hair. I got something like in the middle, and it got curlier as I got older, and I really did not know what to do with it. My mum didn't know what to do with it, and there wasn't really anyone around me growing up with curly hair, and naturally as a kid you want to be like everyone that you see around you, and because I didn't see anyone else with curly hair, I didn't understand why I couldn't have straight blonde long luscious hair. So that's a bit of context, and I'm sure like a lot of you can relate to that in different ways. And I can't quite locate who got me my first pair of straighteners or why I started straightening my hair, but I think it was like a cousin that with straight blonde hair said to me like, here's some straighteners, like this is gonna fix all your problems. And I was addicted, like, because the first time she did it, obviously my hair was so healthy, it had no damage as a child, and my hair was long, smooth and silky, and it was like, this is what I wanted the whole time. So from 2004 to 2019, I straightened my hair most days. So you can imagine the damage. And towards the end of 2019, I got this sudden urge to get in the gym, and I started to realise that how could I keep up the straightening in the morning before work, you know, going to the gym. I had like no time at all. I started to realise, okay, I think I'm gonna have to wear it naturally, how it falls naturally, which at that point was waves, slight waves. I'll try and insert a picture if I can find one, but my hair was very damaged and it wasn't curly at all at this point. And I knew I had curly hair, and I never ever thought that it would come back, ever. The only solution that I could come up with to fix the frizz that would occur throughout the workday was Moroccan oil. I just found it to show you. So this Moroccan treatment oil, I actually love this. I use it now to like scrunch the crunch out, but I've been using this for years. So I used to use it like a little bit on the ends when I was straightening it all the time. What I used to do was lather it. I would get so much oil, guys, honestly, and I would just like completely smooth it over. I wasn't even like scrunching it, I was just like flattening my hair, and my hair wasn't that frizzy and it was just slightly waved, but it was like kind of greasy as well. And gradually my hair started to come back a little bit, but this wasn't even me consciously trying to get my curls back. This was a fix for time. I really remember sitting in the garden, and I just got out the shower, and it was like when it was really hot in the UK in May in 2020, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, why am I straightening my hair, especially in lockdown when no one is seeing me except my boyfriend? What am I doing? And I think he said something like, you should just leave it how it is, it's nice, natural. And I was like, yeah, like why don't I just leave it and kind of like see what happens? Shortly after, I ended up making my Instagram, which I cannot even believe it's grown this much, but it really started as like an account to keep me accountable for not straightening my hair. So like at the beginning it was like mug shots, like my hair gradually started to come back, as you can see on the side. So here is exactly what I did. So first of all, I didn't previously know anything about the curly girl method, but I started to see it on Instagram as people started to follow me. Like I had all like the relevant hashtags, and I put like curly hair in my bio, so like naturally like a few other people on the same type of journey would follow me and I'd follow back. And then like going through people's posts and things, I started to see curly girl method, and immediately I thought, okay, this is what you're supposed to do to get your curls back. And because I found it all really confusing, I just latched on to like whatever I could find. And I thought, if this is going to get my curls back, great. Let me just throw myself into this curly girl method. Let's see what it's all about. So I ditched sulfates, silicones. I didn't straighten, and the not straightening part was the main thing that probably worked for me. Like, the ditching sulfates and silicones personally caused me issues. After 4 months, I noticed a lot of product buildup on my scalp. I was co-washing my hair, conditioner washing, and it was not working for me. It was making my hair really greasy, very flat and limp. After 4 months, I realised the importance of clarifying, or just cleaning your hair properly, because anything can cause product buildup. Pollution for one can, but so can normal products build up on your hair. It's not just silicones. So in my mind, I was thinking, oh, because I'm not using silicones within these 4 months, nothing should be building up on my hair, so it's fine to co-wash it and not use a sulfate or some sort of cleansing ingredient. So this is incorrect, by the way. Other things can build up on your hair as well as silicones. So I just needed to clarify, and I started doing that. And I can't remember the shampoo I started using first, something quite strong, and my hair felt like brand new. I was like, I really needed that like clarifying wash. And I kind of like started again from this wash, and I approached the whole thing differently. And I started to follow a few different people online. I think one was Mains by Mel, her sister Amanda Guido, I believe, and a few other people who talk about, you know, caring for your hair, how to get the best out of your curls, and they don't necessarily sit by a set of rules, you know. And I found that appealing. Like, I suddenly realised, oh wait, I can get my curls back without rules, and I can do what I want that works for me. So I was happy to bring back my Moroccan oil, which has silicones in it. And ever since, it's worked brilliant for me. It gives me loads of shine. I clarify regularly, you know, it's absolutely fine. So something I forgot to mention at the beginning was when I decided to fully go for it and get my curls back, just before that point, I went to Tony and Guy, the place I'd been to get this balayage I had before, and I said, get it off. I didn't. I just said, I want my hair back, the colour I had before. This colour's slightly darker than my natural colour, so it's a bit lighter than that. But I just said, like, I want brown hair again. It like kind of made me feel me again, and it made me like feel like I was on the right direction again. The balayage didn't feel like me. I felt like I was trying to be someone else. And this balayage was really built up, and my hair was like kind of blonde by this point, like brassy blonde. And I really did not feel like me. And getting my hair dyed kind of changed my personality. I was like, right, I'm gonna be me again. I'm getting my curls back. And it was like becoming like an identity thing by this point. The whole of summer 2020 was me experimenting. So it was literally me seeing someone online going, this really works on my hair, and me buying it. Before even checking if we've got similar hair, like, could this actually work? I was just buying everything. Don't recommend doing this at all. I think at this point I was quite desperate, but I also just really wanted to experiment. And I kind of took what anyone said to me as the truth, you know, this will work. But a lot did and a lot didn't, and this is how I found my way, and trial and error. That's how you work out what works for you. So some of the first products I bought were the curl jelly from Umberto Giannini. I still use that to this day. Like, that is gold, that stuff. It's so good. It's like a light to medium gel hold. Used it at the beginning and I use it now, and it still works great. The Shea Moisture line, I was using their deep conditioner like twice a week. That was way too much. My hair was so weighed down. So these are some of the mistakes I made. And I was getting to the point where definitely you can see my curls were starting to come back, but they weren't there yet. Like, they weren't what I was expecting or where they were once. So I was still very curious to see like how curly my hair was gonna get. Would it even get curlier? Maybe they're gone for good, you know, like hormones and things, puberty, like your hair does change, and sometimes it's not a matter of getting them back, it's that your hair has changed. I just knew though that I had so much damage and I just knew they were under there, and they were. But one thing I was really starting to realize I lacked was protein. I didn't understand what protein was, or that it was in products, or what it did for your hair. This is before I started working with Curlsmith, and I decided to fork out money for their protein kit, and I used the whole line once, and my results were incredible compared to what they were without protein. I became obsessed to the point where I kind of overdid it with the protein and my hair started to become dry. I didn't realize that I needed just a bit of both, like a bit of moisture, a bit of protein. And then I started to get to the point where I understood certain ingredients and I kind of created different routines for myself, which provided balance for my hair, as well as clarifying often. I'd clarify and like deeply cleanse my hair once a week. And that really worked for me, and I would kind of wash my hair like twice a week. So one time would be a shampoo which was pretty gentle, and then the other would be like a deep clean, and that really worked for me. Okay, by this point it's February and my hair is definitely progressing, it's getting healthier, and hair health has been the main goal for me this whole time, because I knew that hair health for me would correlate with curls, because I knew I had curls under there. And I could just tell from the amount of frizz I had that there was something there. So for me, it was just getting my hair back healthy. And by this point, I was so happy because my curls were really starting to pop, but I had a lot of damage. So still, obviously it was still on the ends, and I could see the bottom of my hair was a little bit stringier and the top was a lot more curlier. And I could see these little like ringlets inside my hair that would go like this and then straight. And I was like, if I got that cut off, what would my hair look like? Would it spring up? Like, I was really excited by that. I decided to go back to Toni & Guy and get it cut. And I was obsessed with the results. I was like, wow, why didn't I do this earlier? But then I got a bit bored of the colour. Had like a balayage again, but I didn't go to the extremes I went to before, where I was like basically trying to get blonde hair. But I just got a little bit in my curls, which really made them pop. And it was like the new Sophie 2.0 that I needed at that time. It was like a change that I wanted, and I loved it at the time. Like, yeah, I absolutely loved it. After a while, it did get a bit brassy, and I went back in a few times and they toned it for me, and I loved it while it lasted. I might get it again in the future, but I'm loving the colour now. It just, again, like I said before, when I got my hair dyed back brown, it just feels more me. My hair by this point was really starting to come back, and I discovered protein, I discovered balance in my routine, and another thing that I haven't mentioned yet was bonding treatments. So actual treatments, so not deep conditioners, but bonding technology to like help repair, strengthen your bonds in your hair. So Olaplex number 3 is the very well known one of this, but also Bond Rehab Curl from Curlsmith, and I use those weekly. And I really started to see a difference alongside everything else that I was doing. Obviously the nose straightening, the bonding treatments, the balanced routines, and sealing my hair with oil really helped as well, because what was happening was I was doing the whole routine, and then, you know, I was going outside in the wind or the sun or whatever, and my hair was getting messed up. But what the oil did or does is seal your hair and kind of lock in the moisture, lock in the curl. It would actually protect my hair for longer. It would protect the style, and I wouldn't need to wash my hair as much because I was managing to preserve my curls for a longer amount of time. Like anything that you pick up, like a habit, I just got into the habit of, when I got out of the shower, I knew what was coming next. I knew I was going to go and put on a leave-in conditioner and then a bit of gel, or, you know, whatever that routine was. Like, I knew what was coming next, and I had my products there. I didn't have to think about what I was doing. And I think when you have to really think about, wait, what comes next? What am I doing now? It's easy to like not want to do it and just go, oh, I know how to straighten my hair. Yeah, it might take long, but it's easy. It's easy to like fall back into that. There's nothing actually wrong with straightening your hair if you want to straighten your hair, because it's nice to be able to have a bit of both. But when you are on the mission to getting your hair back to optimum hair health, straighteners are going to damage your hair. But every now and again, once your hair is healthy, it's absolutely fine. Like, plenty of people do it and their hair is fine. It's just about knowing what's too much and how do you actually take care of your hair when you also use heat on it. I always use a heat protectant, by the way, because obviously I'm diffusing, and diffusing as well as the sun and UV rays outside can all cause some damage. So always use a heat protectant anyway, even if you're air drying. Also, just note that not all heat protectants will protect you from UV rays. Just check on the bottle, like it should actually state what it protects you from. But I think it's just really important to stick to the journey to hair health and not to focus too much on, I want my curls to look like Sophie's or this person's, because if you really focus on trying to get your hair looking like someone else's, it's just never going to happen, because our hair is so unique. For me, like, the most important part was actually like getting that damage off and feeling like my hair's not going to break and I can actually grow it for once. So like, they were actually my goals, and now I just love having fun with routines, and I love sharing my journey with you and my tips and tricks, and I love coming up with new hacks. And yeah, it's just so empowering to finally just be who you are and embrace what you have. One thing I did forget to mention earlier is density, because my density really changed. From the amount of hair on my head was a lot less when I was straightening my hair, and I was also suffering with alopecia, and I still haven't got to the bottom of it, why I might have it. Can I fix it? We're not there yet, but I'm speaking with a professional about it. And yeah, I just have patches of hair like this big, maybe some are like a bit smaller, some a little bit bigger. They're like bald shiny spots on my head. I only have one right now, right there, but they do sometimes just happen and they fall out. And I had a lot more when I was straightening my hair all the time, and I have no idea if that was stress. I was very stressed at one point, like in my previous career, and I feel like that could have been the reason. But also my scalp health wasn't good. I wasn't washing properly. I wasn't doing any sort of scalp exfoliation. I wasn't oiling my scalp. Not that you have to do those things, but like, I wasn't doing anything good to my scalp at all. So I can't advise on that because I just don't understand it, and I haven't got to the bottom of it myself. I've come to terms with it a little bit more. I'm really grateful that it's not really bad for me and I only have a few at a time, but it's still worrying, isn't it? Not knowing when it's going to happen, or does one patch mean I'm suddenly going to get loads more? It's always challenging when you don't have control of it. A lot of my journey has been trial and error, so I can only assume that my hair has got curlier, obviously, from my trying to get optimum hair health and doing curl routines all the time and just trying to get my hair back. And I can only assume that my hair has got denser because I've been looking after my scalp. I've not been damaging it as much, and I've also been less stressed. Could also be a big thing. But again, I'm not kind of a professional in that area. Everything you take from this is like my own personal journey I'm sharing with you, and I try to share as many tips and tricks online to help, but also knowing that everyone is unique and every single person has a very different scalp, a very different head of hair, and what works for me may not work for you, vice versa. And here we are today. Here are my curls. This is a day 2 wash using the flip section method, which I posted a video about on this channel, and it's quite curly. I don't know how well you can see, but it's, you know, a lot curlier than it was at the beginning. But yeah, that is my journey pretty much. Sorry if you felt like I was rambling. There's just so many details to the story, and I really want my YouTube to be a place where I can just go into detail and you can just skip if you want, because a lot of people DM me asking for all these details and it's just so hard to get across on short video on like Instagram, TikTok. There's not enough time unless I'm like part 1, part 2, part 3. So hopefully I can do more of these videos. I'm sure there's so many questions about like what were the products you use when you realize XYZ, or you know, what oils do you recommend. So like any recommendations for content that you want from me on this channel in like longer form, let me know in the comments and I'll add it to my list. I've already got so many ideas of what I want to film on here, but I don't want to incorporate too many products and things into this video because it would be so long. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm so sorry that I came to YouTube and then I just left, but I'm back now. I really want to grow my YouTube community on here, and thank you so much for any support you've already given me on my videos so far. I think I have 2. So I'm like right at the start of this like YouTube journey. And yeah, thank you so much for subscribing if you have already. If not, please go and subscribe if you want to see more from me. If you want quick like step-by-step tutorials or a little bit of fun, Instagram's where you want to go. I'll put my handle here, and also TikTok. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.